Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Carolina Panthers versus Chicago Bears Week 7 matchup based on analytics. Each week, I collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. And since it's a weekly collection, it will always be very fluid in terms of how to track various team trends. However, there will always be little nuggets of data that become bigger nuggets of data as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you're new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So starting with this matchup between the Panthers and the Bears. So looking at the basic NFL stat comparisons, basic NFL stat comparisons is essentially looking at how the offense is doing, how the defense is doing, and how the special teams unit is doing in terms of various team-based, data points. And the overall data favors the Panthers in this game. Now, the one thing I want to throw out here is because Trubisky is a new quarterback, he's so far he's 2 starts into his season, that we won't have a very clear idea of how much he really improves things until probably 4 or 5 weeks more, like maybe 4 more, 3, around there. So we still have to get more data to come in. As he gets more acclimated to the offense, he could improve. The offense could improve as as things start to get more into his favor. So we'll see ultimately what the effect is, because it's like Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson came in, had a couple rough games, and then started to get into a groove. That could be the same case with Mitch Trubisky. He could, have a couple rough games here and there where he flashes a bit and then starts to be really consistent and starts to get into a groove. So we don't really know if that's going to be the case yet. But that's definitely something to think about. Another variable that's a kind of an unknown variable that could throw some of the stuff off. But despite all that, the data still heavily favors the Panthers in this game. And let's get into some reasons why. So first off, the total D score and the total O score. Again, total O score is basically the ability to create first downs with the offense, whether you're talking passing downs or running downs. And the total D score is the ability to prevent first downs, whether you're talking passing downs or run downs. And the Panthers are just better when it comes to their offense's ability to create first downs than the Bears. And they're also better on defense when it comes to their ability to prevent first downs with their defense. On top of that, the Panthers have a better turnover ratio. It's not amazing. I mean, both these teams are below average when it comes to turnover ratio, but the Panthers are better. Sack percentage is, in terms of sacks allowed, I should say, is more so with the Bears, though. The Panthers do allow more sacks than the Bears, so that's one area where the Bears do have some advantage. But look at the offensive score percentage, 91.65 out of 100. Versus the Bears' offensive score percentage, which is basically the ability to score on every single offensive drive, which is only 6.93 out of 100. So say what you want about the Panthers, inefficiencies and turnovers and this or that, they tend to score on the majority of their drives. So whereas the Bears don't. So that's a big, big plus for the Panthers in this game. Then you look at defensive score percentage, which is the how many drives lead to scores on defense. The better you are at preventing scores, the higher the score. And the Panthers are better in that regard. Turnover ratio, both these teams are pretty much in the same boat. They don't create a lot of turnovers. Sack percentage on defense, more so with the Panthers. The Panthers usually get more sacks, but the Bears also are above average in terms of that as well, so that definitely is a benefit. Interceptions, again, both these teams don't really, not a lot of interceptions on both of these teams. So ultimately, defensively speaking, you're looking at 2 teams that sack the quarterback pretty well, don't create a lot of turnovers, don't really create a lot of interceptions, and allow points. Both these teams give up points. But the Panthers offense just puts up points. So it's just one of those types of things where the Bears are putting up points on offense. Not the Bears, but the Panthers are putting points on offense. And their defense isn't amazing, but they're able to put up points on offense, whereas the Bears have not been able to do that. And I think that's probably going to be a bigger sort of factor in this game, unless Trubisky goes off and has a Deshaun Watson-like thing that happens. Like what happened with Deshaun Watson this season. And then you look at special teams. So Punt return yardage, pretty much the same. Bears have the advantage. Kick return yardage, pretty much, same, below average for both, but the Bears have the advantage. But defending punt return yardage is more so on the Panthers. The Panthers are one of the best teams in the NFL when it comes to preventing punt return yardage, whereas the Bears are one of the worst. And preventing kick return yardage, more so with the Panthers and the Bears, who are also one of the worst in that particular metric. Field goal percentage is more so with the Panthers, whereas the Bears field goal percentage right now compared to every team since 1998 is 4.72. So their field goal percentage is not good, which adds into the offensive score percentage. If you can't get touchdowns and you can't get field goals, you're not going to score a lot of points. So those are two major factors that are hurting the Bears at this point. Then you look at extra point percentage, that's more so with the Bears, though, and punting average is also more so with the Bears. But overall, I would say the special teams advantages really go to the Panthers when it comes to field goal percentage and when it comes to defending punt return yardage and kick return yardage, since both of these teams are really not that great when it comes to punt return or kick return yardage to begin with. So a lot of that stuff does go into the Panthers' favor. And again, overall, the Panthers are just majorly favored in this game, and a big reason for that, as I mentioned before, is their offensive score percentage. If you have an offense that can put points on the board, regardless of the turnovers, regardless of all the other inefficiencies, if you are able to put points on the board, you are going to have success. You're going to win some games. And ultimately, that's the biggest factor in this game between these two teams. So now getting into some other sort of data points, like completion percentage and some other sort of micro kind of matchup things. When you look at completion percentage of the Panthers offense versus the Bears defense, mostly favors the Panthers offense. So this is all the data points right here. And then you look at the Chicago Bears offense versus the Panthers defense, and actually favors the Bears offense here, although a lot of this is Mike Glennon influence, though. And then, of course, when you look at rushing down, so this is the ability to create first downs with the run for the Panthers offense versus the Bears defense, and the Panthers actually pretty high in terms of that regard. One of the highest, they're one of the best offenses in the NFL when it comes to creating first downs on third down. They're also above average when it comes to first down. And the only area where the Bears do well on defense is second down. That's pretty much the only area where their defense actually does well in terms of their run defense. In terms of preventing first downs is second down situations, and they just are not that great in terms of third down situations. So this definitely does heavily favor the Panthers. So lots of matchups here that are going to work. And then when you look at the rushing offense of the Bears versus the Panthers defense, this kind of evenly matched. You look at first down situation, the Bears do have the advantage. Second down, pretty much even between the two, and then heavily favors the Panthers in terms of third down situation. So I would tend to lean towards more evenly matched here. Kind of a split between these situations, because the Panthers will have, the Bears, will have advantages in terms of first down. The Panthers will have advantages on third down, and then second down will definitely be more so even between the two. So I would say this is kind of evenly matched between the Bears offense and the Panthers defense based on the ability to prevent first downs and get first downs with the run. And then when you look at the passing data, so this is the ability to create first downs with the pass, the conversion rate and various downs and distances between the Panthers offense and the Bears defense, and this more so favors the Bears defense. The only area where the Panthers will have an advantage is in terms of second down, but for the most part, the Bears are heavily favored in terms of first down situations, and after that point, second down, third down, they just get a little bit weaker, but they're not terrible. They don't have a horrible passing defense. They just are not the best in terms of that regard. Then you look at the passing offense of the Bears versus the Panthers defense, heavily favors the Panthers, but we still don't know 100% of the ultimate impact of Mitch Trubisky. So, again, Trubisky could get better and better and better and improve things, or it just stays the same. We don't really know that yet, but this is just kind of how things are shaping up right now. Then you look at sack rate. So this is the ability to prevent sacks versus the ability of the defense to create sacks between the Panthers offense and the Bears defense. Mostly favors the Panthers on first and second down, but third down heavily. Like the Bears have one of the best defenses when it comes to getting sacks on third down. So that's definitely going to be a big factor for them in terms of sack rate on third down in terms of this game. Then you look at sack rate of the Bears offense versus the Panthers defense, and the Panthers have a slight advantage here, kind of, especially when it comes to third down situations, second down situations. Second down is a little bit more even, but yeah, I would definitely say that the Bears offense has a slight advantage here. Most of the sacks that the Bears give up is in first down situations, which is also where most of the Panthers' sacks come on defense's first down. So that's going to be another sort of key thing to watch. But overall, I would say that it slightly favors the Bears in terms of this, in terms of sack percentage. Then you look at interception ratio, the Carolina Panthers offense versus the Bears defense, and for the most part favors the Panthers. Most of the interceptions that Cam Newton has thrown have been in third down situations, and the Bears pretty much across the board are not amazing when it comes to getting interceptions, but they are at least able to get a couple. I'm not sure how many they have this year so far, but I do know that when it comes to second down and third down situations, they're a little bit better than they are in terms of first down situations. So, and they're going up against a kind of turnover happy quarterback as well in terms of third down situations. So we'll see what happens there. And then lastly, when you look at the Bears offense versus the Panthers defense when it comes to interceptions, and mostly favors the Bears offense in terms of second down, third down situations, because the Panthers just don't really get a lot of picks. Again, both these teams not very good when it comes to creating interceptions and turnovers in general. So a big factor in this game is going to be the ability to put up points, which again comes back to the Panthers. So overall, how do I feel about this game? Well, again, I think it's pretty clear. It heavily favors the Panthers. Again, I'm not being biased here. I'm not trying to do anything here. I'm just the data happens to favor the Panthers. The Panthers are able to put up more points consistently, and realistically, the unknown variable of Mitch Trubisky. If Mitch Trubisky can turn into a Deshaun Watson-esque kind of guy in terms of impact, then it can help this team. It could bump this team up in terms of that. But if he doesn't have that type of impact, then, and again, this has nothing to do with him in the future. It's just facts. Like if Mitch Trubisky comes in and plays a Deshaun Watson-like performance, then you could see this changing. But if that isn't the case, if he doesn't have that type of impact, then I still see a Panthers victory. And even if he had a Deshaun Watson-like performance, I still think there would be issues here. So ultimately, I have to go Panthers here. And of course, you can find my other work at draftcover.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.